The Twins were off, but there is still plenty to talk about on the AL Central landscape. We'll also talk about Twins Brewers, which is slated to open up here soon, and whatever else tickles our fancy. This is Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, hi, how are you? It's Locked On Twins coming at you yet again here. Off day, too many of those here to start the season, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. I'm your host, Brandon Warren, and you can unfollow me on Twitter at Brandon_WARNE. And while you're doing that, shoot on over to @Answer Dave Brown. Follow our guy, Dave. Dave, have you made it over 1,000 followers yet on the new account?
The last time I looked, no. I was still at, I think, 900 and something. And on it, frankly, how many of those are AI porn ladies, who I haven't really counted. So who knows how really close to 1,000 I am. I used to have, how many did I have?
9,000? 8,000? 9,000?
Oh, I had like 9,000. That was that Yahoo money. That's where that came from. So
well, we're glad you're here regardless of what form you're in. And if you never get your account back, we'll get you back there. That's the Locked On Twins promise. Thanks for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. And of course, as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, we're your team every day. And if you're hanging out with us on YouTube, again, click like, click subscribe, click the thumbs up, all that, whatever you want to do. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from you in the chat. Fun comment in the chat yesterday was, Bobby Witt Jr. is better than anyone the Twins have. Well, gee, thanks for telling us that. Of course he is. He's going to be an MVP candidate. And so he homered again today. I mean, he's absolutely killing it. So we appreciate the comment and we're glad, but it was like, who is this arguing with? Of course he's better than what the Twins have.
Well, he's I'm not sure if we'll see about how the numbers are at the end of the year. Like if I was picking teams, I would pick Bobby Witt first, but the Twins could still have, well, we'll just see how things go. Let's just put it like that.
Twins opening a quick 2-gamer in Milwaukee with the Brewers before coming home to open their home season with the Guardians. And if you are looking for the game on your hometown broadcast on Sirius XM, all you got to do, download the SXM app and search the word Twins. And you can catch every pitch with Chris Atterbury and Danny Gladden. Up next for the Twins, Louis Varland against Jacob Junis. It's at Milwaukee on Tuesday with the first pitch scheduled for 3:10 p.m. And to close out the series, the next day, another day game, it's going to be Chris Paddock against Joe Ross. So apparently it's the Twins Brewers series brought to you by, no, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say Goodwill, but that's not nice. That's really mean. But Junis and
2012 Nationals.
Yeah. Junis and Ross, brought to you by Wilson and other cast-offs. No disrespect to the Brewers. The Brewers should be a pretty solid ball club, but this is not exactly like facing Brandon Woodruff and Corbin Burns.
No, and although the Brewers got off to a good start, it could have been because they were playing the Mets, who didn't get off to a good start. I predicted that they would, and the Yankees wouldn't, and the reverse happened. So much for my predictions.
Use that power for good, though, if you can.
Right. I suppose. Yeah, it's Junis does not have, I don't know how relevant this is, but Junis has a pretty bad record against the Royals in his history. Most of his starts, this is now like several years ago, 6-7 years ago, most of the innings that he's logged, but he doesn't have a lot of success against them at all. So I don't know.
The Twins, you mean?
What did I say?
Oh, you said Royals, which he used to play for the Royals. So I think that was a slip of a tongue.
Well, he didn't have that much success for the Royals. That really didn't make sense in any way. But okay, maybe I was thinking too much Bobby Witt. But when he was with the Royals, and then actually the Giants too, the Twins have hit him pretty good, at least the guys who are still on the team. So we'll see if that has anything to do with anything.
And I just don't have any idea what to expect from Joe Ross. He's kind of like in his Julio to Heron Teheran phase where it's at the end of your career, or not necessarily the end. You can hang around for a long time, but Teheran, ironically enough, back in discussions with the Mets. So it's like a two-step. Carlos Carrasco goes to the Guardians. Joe Ross goes to the Brewers, and the Mets get maybe Julio. What am I saying? Julio Teheran.
Is Tyson Ross still somewhere?
No, well, I mean somewhere technically, yeah. I mean, but not.
I don't mean on Earth. I just meant in an organization.
I don't think so. And so I think he was, he's cut from the cloth of like not necessarily Josh Johnson or, the guys who kind of had that short bit of success and then it went away because of injuries. But for me, he's in the conversation of I really thought he was going to be something. And, just injuries kind of waylaid him. Drew Smiley's kind of like that for me. A few other guys, but
Drew Smiley's still going for the Cubs in some form.
He's good for like a strikeout per inning, a walk every other inning, and like a 4.40 ERA. And you're just thinking, man, if he could do one thing or another, he'd really find it. And then he gets hurt again.
Tyson hasn't pitched in the majors since 2019 and COVID pretty much, that was the end of, and he didn't come back after that. I'm not saying he didn't come back because of COVID, like he had it. I'm just saying that was, he was 33 or something when that season happened. And Tyson Ross is enjoying retirement or, banking or whatever his college degree is affording.
Hey, say 8 straight games, day games to start the season for the Twins. Twins 36-36 in day games since the start of last season. Bet you didn't know that, Dave Brown. But
actually, I did only because I read Dan Hayes' story in The Athletic about how they wanted to change.
That's right.
Modus operandi for how they went about their day game. So Rocco's done some things like adding batting practice, and it didn't work the other day with the Royals. They got waylaid, but
love that word.
They're still 2 out of 3.
53 and 40 though in night games. Always loved playing night games when I was like 12 years old.
Did you?
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
I mean, yeah, it seemed like a big event, but I couldn't see the ball as well at night, which I think is not uncommon with major league players. So
I meant night games like with your buddies out in the streets, like
I'm thinking Little League.
Yeah. See, no, I'm being an idiot. Here's some good news though that came through today. Walker Jenkins will not miss any games to start the 2024 minor league season. He's gonna be ready to go when the season starts.
Has Twitter complained that they're rushing him?
I'm sure they will. I haven't seen it today. I was actually as much as possible off there today. You got a few different things done as the
amazing how that happens when you stay off Twitter. You get a few things done,
especially me. But yeah, the daughter was off school today, so we bonded. We went to the chiropractor and visited grandma and grandpa and had chicken strips from Quick Trip. I mean, it was quite a day.
That wasn't bonding with the daughter at the chiropractor. Is not the first thing that would come to mind with me. My daughter and I watched some Caitlin Clark tonight. So it was like the first college basketball game of any kind in its entirety that I watched in like 2 years. And I used to love college basketball. So Caitlin Clark is the real deal. She had like 9 threes the last I saw and was just dribbling through her legs and off balance and 30-footers. And it was, she's the truth.
She's the mirror image of when Stephen Curry would just pull up from half court.
It reminded me of Steph Curry. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and that I don't want to use that comparison to diminish her skills or anything. I don't want to be treated like that, but holy smokes,
that's a compliment. Not everyone has to be compared to a man, and I get that, but it's not degrading her in any way when you say something like that.
Well, between her and Angel Reese and Paige Beckers, who's actually from about 20 miles from here, just incredible talent that's in college basketball and in some period of time here in the next year or two, all will descend upon the WNBA. And so, yeah, Twins, Brewers, I'm not really sure what to expect. Christian Yelich has looked considerably better to start the season. They got a few guys that can swing it a little bit, but it's a team in a division and neither of which have identities. Like the Brewers have not got an identity. I feel like the NL Central doesn't really know what it wants to be either.
Oh, the White Sox do. They want to be bad.
But they're in the AL.
Oh, sorry. That's right.
Brewers.
I got my mids mixed up.
Yeah, it happens. We're not going back to when the Twins no-hit the Brewers in 1994 when they were in the AL Central. They're on the NL side, Dave.
Yeah, and I was always disappointed to learn that the Brewers fans always got more excited for the Twins than they did the White Sox. Like people were not really into the White Sox rivalry with the Brewers like I was. And it was
especially how close it is. It was like 70, 80, 90 miles, something like that.
Yeah, it is. It's right there. I mean, I know Eau Claire is close to Minneapolis, but that's not the same thing, is it?
No. That'd be like comparing Minneapolis to something that's not Minneapolis. So why don't we do this? Let's take a quick second, give some love to our friends at Amazon Fire TV, and then I'll let you set up a chat that you had with a new Twin, one who's gotten into one game so far, but is quite the guy, has quite the story off the field. So again, a word from Amazon Fire TV. Amazon Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, and if you've got a dummy TV like I do, just get an Amazon Fire TV stick, and it'll do all the same things. You just plug it into your TV, and it provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live television. Whether you're on opening week for baseball, the college basketball tournament, both men's and women's, they're both getting really heated up here, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. And that includes us here at Locked On and most of the big pro leagues and college conferences as well. Fire TV channels let you easy for me to say, into all of the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on all the latest in the world of sports. Again, March Madness winding down, NBA regular season winding down, and the MLB season, which is just firing up, plus much, much more. Not to mention there's great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, and cooking type shows as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and your Alexa devices, because if you haven't checked out Fire TV channels yet, you should. Trust me on this one. To learn more, visit amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. All right, Dave, we're back. You had a chat with Mr. Jay Jackson, and I don't want to steal any of your thunder, so I'm going to let you set it up however you see fit.
Well, don't hide my thunder either, Brandon.
I don't want anything to do with your thunder at this moment. Yeah,
Jay Jackson, before I think it was on opening day, I had a chance to talk to him for a few minutes about his history, and he's 36 years old. He'll be 37 in October, so he's been around. He debuted in 2015, but he hasn't logged all that many major league innings because of injuries or in the minors. Sometimes he's gone to Japan. He spent a couple of opening days over there, overseas, but this is his first opening day at a guy who was drafted in 2008, made his debut, like I said, 7 years later, and this is his first opening day that isn't in Nippon professional baseball. So he's really happy to be here. We sort of pumped up the signing that the Twins made in the offseason because they gave him a major league deal. And Twins fans might remember him from last year when he pitched for the Blue Jays in the playoffs. And I think he pitched in the playoffs. I know he pitched for the Blue Jays and the Twins faced them in the playoffs. That last detail I'm hazy on. But so seems like a cool guy, tells a cool story, and let's let him talk a little bit about himself.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Did he pitch in the postseason?
I gave you a transition there.
You did, but I don't think he did. I think he was just there for watching. But hey, let's hear more from him from the Kauffman at Kauffman Stadium.
Oh. How excited are you to be doing this on opening day from the get-go, and how is that a little bit different than what you're used to?
It's definitely different than what I'm used to being over here in the MLB, and this is my first opening day officially, so I'm definitely excited. It's been a long road, I would say, but I'm excited, but it's just still going out there and just doing the day-to-day job and just trying to get a win. Ultimately, I'm excited it's day one, but the ultimate goal is to get a World Series ring, so it's just one of the days in the process of getting it.
It seems like that is, everybody says at the beginning of the year they want to win the World Series, but it seems like that's not just pie in the sky here.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
The team we have, me being on the other side last year with the Blue Jays and facing this team in the playoffs and seeing the capabilities that they have to be a World Series contender and joining the team, I think that we have, the only goal is to win a World Series. Get through the division first, get through the playoffs, but the ultimate goal is to win a World Series. And I think with the guys we have, the additions they've made, coming in and just trying to help the best way I can. That's the goal. For me, I feel like that's the only thing I'm missing from my career is to have a World Series. So I feel like that's what most people are missing from their careers. But I'm excited, and I'm excited to be part of this team and help them hopefully bring a World Series to Minneapolis.
How has it been having? I don't know how much Byron's been out in center for when you've been on the mound, but just knowing that he's there, and what kind of difference does that make?
Just seeing how he's moving around. He hasn't been out there a lot of times I've been out there, but just watching how he's moving and the confidence he has and how he just glides through things and being able to cover that much space and knowing that you have the defense that we have as a pitcher, you can be more aggressive and be in the zone and not feel like you have to carry or shoulder the load too much. You have Byron, Carlos, Royce, you got Santana at first, you got Julian at second, you got Waldner, those guys in the outfield too. So the defense that we have, especially having Buck in center, being able to take a little bit of load off those guys in the corners too, it just makes our lives a lot easier. So seeing how he's being able to come in here, be confident, and feel healthy, just the way he's just been gliding around and having fun, I think it's an uplifting thing for the whole team, and I think it should be.
You've mentioned that winning the World Series is like the thing that's missing from your career. You've been around for a while. Did you ever feel like you were close to giving it up until this moment, or maybe
a few times?
It's
just I thank my family and the people that support me the most, and my friends that have told me to stick with it, even the times where I wanted to give up. And thought about it, I called those people a couple times, like, yo, today's the day, I'm not going to the stadium today. They're like, no, it's not that time yet. Where you can tell that there's still fun and energy left in there. And so as long as I'm able to compete and enjoy this game that we play, I'm going to be out here as long as I can.
Were there multiple teams that wanted to give you a major league contract over the winter?
There was a couple, but most of the teams were waiting to fill out the rest of their rosters first, so it got down to, I wouldn't say an afterthought, but I wasn't as high on the totem pole as I would have liked to been, and I didn't hear from as many teams as I would have honestly thought I would have heard from. But it doesn't matter, it only takes one team, and this is a great opportunity. This is a team that wanted me to be here and showed me enough love and trust to be here, and that's my goal, is to be loyal and do the best I can here and help these guys win a World Series. I'm so excited to be here. I'm glad they took a chance on me and gave me an opportunity, and to have the guys I've met so far on this team, Buck, Carlos, Royce, they've just accepted me into this organization, into this family, and it, like I said, it only takes one. So all the other teams that didn't, it is what it is. I'm here now, and I'll see them on the field.
What are the things about how the Twins did this offseason? They were very proactive in getting established pitchers for the bullpen, not just yourself, but they made it a point to take what they had as far as depth and add to it. And isn't it funny how already we haven't even started the game, and that's been it seems like a good strategy on their part.
It's definitely a good strategy. You hear from teams all the time, you can never have enough pitching, especially never have enough quality pitching. And you see the guys that we brought in during spring training before I signed and everything else in the competition we had. And, it's going to pay dividends throughout this year. We're going to need everybody, me being part of that depth for many years. I've seen how it helps the team and pieces things together to help guys get ready. It help those teams get to the playoffs and make sure they have good positions in the playoffs, to have those guys healthy and feel comfortable. and have chances to win World Series. Like, that's the main thing. So it's, like you said, it's a testament now. You see the guys that we have right now and how, like, we're going to win games. Like, everybody's ready. You trust everybody here because they put in the work. You've seen how much work they put in. You see the numbers they put up and the work that everybody's gone through, and it's just everybody's ready. I feel bad for the guys that have gotten hurt and have to take some nicks and bangs here and there, but when they come back, I know they're going to be excited and ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it.
Is it how, being a ball player, is it how you imagined when you were a little guy growing up, wanting to do it? Maybe the actual course has been a little different, but is it what you always thought it would be?
The course has definitely been a lot different, but it's more than I dreamed of. You can only imagine being in these places and being in these situations and having these opportunities. As a kid, like, you're just playing out there in the grass with your friends half the time, especially in Little League. You're playing with your friends and you never know what's going to happen after that. And this is just a whole complete level past that. Being able to do it for as long as I have at this point, being in the places I've been and seeing like how it's been, it's more than I could have ever imagined. And I'm just blessed and thankful to be here every single day. I try to take that for granted. Every morning I wake up is a blessing, but me being able to do this, be able to have fun and come out here and try to be just a positive influence and impact these guys as much as I can. That's what drives me every day too, is just be able to come out here and be happy and humble and blessed as much as I can.
Before you guys had the injuries toward the end of camp, Rocco talked about wanting the bullpen to have guys in it who would pitch 2 innings at a time or longer if possible, and maybe that will end up working out. Do you see yourself fitting in as far as that goes?
Yeah, 100%. I've been doing the multi-inning things for the past few years, and I'm just kind of, gotten into a groove with it, and just whatever they need me to do ultimately is what I'm here for. I just want to be here and help and impact this team as much as I can, like I said, to win a World Series. That's all I'm really excited to do, is try to have the opportunity to win a World Series and help this team and help these guys get better. Like, they still have a long way on their journeys to go.
Sure.
And I'm kind of winding down a little bit, but I want to be able to be a positive and impactful person in their lives and help them be the best things that they can be to, again, win a World Series and help the team as much as I can.
That was great, Dave. I will come back after we talk about a little bit from FanDuel, but I enjoyed that. I feel like in just 8 minutes, we know a lot more about Jay Jackson, one of the newest Twins. Let's, though, take a quick second, talk about FanDuel, and we come back. Still a lot to get to here in just the last few minutes. It is all systems go in the sports world right now, and FanDuel is making it more and more exciting to get in on the action, because right now new customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 you can use to bet on the tourney, which is winding down on both sides, MLB, NBA, NHL, and so much more. Again, $200 if you get a win on your first $5 bet. You get 200 and extra bonus bets. Basically free play. It's the easiest thing you can imagine. So go check it out. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and make your first bet a big win. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. All right, Dave, we're wrapping up here, and a couple things. First of all, I feel like I said, 8 minutes of Jay Jackson, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what he's about and what he's like. Seems like a super guy.
Very, very positive guy. Derek Falvey mentioned just the things that he's been through in personal life and professional life, and still gutting things out at age 36 and being an effective player. Just his presence alone lends some value to the guys. He's if you're in it for the long game, Jay Jackson's a good example to follow if you're a young player, no matter what your talent level.
Well, hey, thank you so much for catching up with him. I understand we have a little bit more coming from your weekend at the Kaufman.
Yes,
Pablo stuff too, right? Coming up here.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of Falvey, and then on another program in the future, yep. And then a Q&A with Pablo Lopez. It's about 20 minutes long. That's like its own show, basically. So yeah. So
get excited. We're gonna run that when he makes his next start, which should be the home opener if my math is correct, which it usually isn't. Hey, not to rub salt in any of your wounds, but I've been watching the White Sox.
Why?
And I don't know. The Twins seem to have every other day off, and I need that baseball fix. And if I can get it with a dose of Schadenfreude, I'm going to take it. So, Sox 0-4. Eloy day-to-day with an adductor strain, lost 9-0 to Atlanta today. But I would argue they're 0-5 because they're signing Mike Clevinger. And I'm not here to have some kind of stupid debate about it, but he went unsigned, Dave, for a reason. And the White Sox have been claiming about vibes and clubhouse stuff. They got rid of all the bad apples, whether it was Yasmani Grandal or whoever else. And then you do this. Mike Clevinger was available at the deadline last year. Nobody wanted him. He was available on waivers. Nobody wanted him. He was available all off season. Nobody wanted him. The odds of him pitching as good as he did last year, this year, not great. The odds of him pitching the same and getting to the deadline, whatever. But again, the White Sox, like the Cubs, the White Sox cannot justify this from the standpoint of, well, maybe you give this a good half season and we trade him. We're pretty sure still nobody wants him. I don't get it, Dave. I really don't.
I don't really get it either, other than it's just desperation, and the White Sox decided that those accusations against Clevinger there were two of his former spouses who say he was abusive.
Yep.
And also accused him of child abuse. Major League Baseball did a long investigation, did not end up disciplining him. But sometimes it is hard to find evidence other than somebody's word that things like that are going on. So, we kind of know about situations like that, not only in baseball, but in life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate that they did this. I mean, we know that the White Sox aren't going to be very good. Their big offseason free agent was Eric Fetty, a move that I like, but
he pitched today, I think.
Go after somebody like, what's that?
I think he pitched today, actually.
Yeah, he pitched okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
But, go after someone like Jordan Montgomery, or I don't know.
Seth Lugo even.
Seth Lugo would have been good. Seth Lugo would have been fine. But, Chris Getz, the GM, is finding his way, and he kind of lost his way on this. But it is what it is. The White Sox are they're hard to watch anyway, and this doesn't make it any easier.
Neither does losing Jason Benetti, and it felt like it was kind of ironic that that's who they faced, was the Detroit Tigers in the season opening series. Couple other things here. Luis Ariz goes 2 for 2 with 3 walks against the Angels, but the Marlins lose because apparently Mike Trout is vintage Mike Trout again with a couple homers. Here's what I want to hone in on, though. The A's sent down Esteury Ruiz. They benched Brent Rooker, and the whole situation stinks. Like, that smell that you smell is that situation, not Dave, not me. It's these players wearing, I believe, wristbands that supported was it like the restaurant or bar that kind of organized the boycott?
Yeah, the Last Dive Bar, and the kind of anti-Las Vegas forces in the Bay Area that the fans and other supporters have started. And it sure looks like that's what's happened, that Rooker and Ruiz had those wristbands, and I don't know if there's other examples on social media of them.
There is, but I can't remember who exactly, or figure out who exactly it was.
It does look like a slap on the wrist from the team, telling the guys, to get in line. Everybody, we need to be behind this move to Las Vegas. And I mean, the A's ownership we're used to them screwing their fans, and this is just another example where they take it out on the players too. So, it's a despicable situation in Oakland.
I'd love to see Trevor May be able to be open about it and just say, sell the team, man. T. May retiring after a tough year last year with the A's, health issues and all that sort of thing. But yeah, man, that's a guy you do not want to go against. Pirates 5-0 for the first time in quite some time. Just a fun team in terms of some of their young players. Some of their other players, not as fun. But But I know I enjoy like watching O'Neal Cruz and a few of their other young guys. So my angle there too is Derek Shelton is their manager.
Yeah.
Splendid guy who was a lot of fun to talk to when he was with the Twins. Here's a fun one. Christopher Crawford, friend of the show, back at Roto World. I refuse to call it the other name because I don't ever remember it. He has Brooks Lee as his number 10 fantasy baseball prospect. So I thought that was kind of cool to see when I was thumbing through today for some content.
On that note, adjacent, do you have any thoughts on the Twins adding Tanner Morris for cash considerations? I was looking at his numbers and his positions. He seems like a third base type and maybe a second base type.
Yeah.
And they just lost the third base type with Royce Lewis. He doesn't have any power to speak of, but I think he's 26.
Like a 390 on base, though.
Yes, it looks like a guy who gets on base. I'm not sure about his defense. His photo looks like somebody from a beer league. It's kind of funny. But I just wondered, he's a guy that at least could help make St. Paul. That's where he's headed to.
Yep.
St. Paul could be better. And I wonder if he's just there to maybe give the Twins another option at some point on the corner if they feel like they need to redirect their depth there.
Yeah, he kind of gives me Matt Tolbert vibes where definitely good in the minors. Not sure how he'd produce if he came up here, but enough that you may want to see it because the on-base percentage is there. By the way, quickly before we go, Ronel Blanco no-hit the Blue Jays tonight, so that's pretty cool.
Where were you when Nelson – I used to call him Nelson Liriano all the time. When Francisco Liriano no-hit the White Sox. Where were you?
I was sleeping. I was 27 and sleeping. No, 26 and sleeping. Hey, we're out of time. This is Locked On Twins. We'll see you tomorrow night.